Hello, welcome, and thank you for coming to our talk at the Swedish Golf Federation annual conference of 2021. We began our journey with the preconception that golf courses were barren spaces with a lack of biodiversity, and that gameplay was prioritised at the expense of the variety in the use of the land which they sat on. We set out as a team to find golf courses in Lund, with the characteristic monocultured, manicured grass and few trees and bushes littering the space. We were surprised when we found a course that did not correspond with our preconceptions at all. This space showed us that golf courses can indeed be biodiverse and varied in how the land is used. Today, we want to talk to you about this unique and beautiful golf course in Lund, the Verpinge Golf Course. We are impressed by how the management of this golf course is doing such a great job at upholding golfing values whilst also increasing biodiversity in the area. We identified this site as part of our initial research into golf courses, with the assumption that there would be room for improvement when it came to creating a space which was a haven for bugs, birds, and bees. However, what we found there was not the problem, but rather the solution. Today, we will show you around the site at Verpinge and give you some ideas, tips, and tricks for how you can bring more biodiversity to your local club. As highlighted, we quickly found that the course at Verpinge was not the golf course that we were expecting it to be. In order to extend our literature research and to get more details about this specific case, we arranged an interview with Håkan, the owner of Verpinge Golf Course, and he was more than happy to talk to us and to give us a tour of the space. When talking to Håkan and when inspecting the golf course, we realised that the concept of the site is oriented to being multi-purpose. The golf course itself is located around an organic farm, and thus Håkan tries to find innovative ways to integrate the two.
I tried to see every year what did we do for the ecology? What did we do for the social part? The main goal here is not economy. Economy is just a tool. Just make it a nice living environment, a good biotope, and then they will come eventually. Don't worry.
In the following, we will share our impressions and observations so that you can get an idea of the measures implemented at Verpinge. When entering the golf course, the first thing that you will recognise is the diverse soil cover consisting of various types and heights of grass and moss. You will hear the sheep that move around freely and graze on the site, and their role is to replace machinery, fertilise the grass, and contribute to biodiversity. And if you stop for a moment, and if you really pay attention, you will quickly notice more species like birds, insects, frogs, and bees. These wildlife are hosted in small ponds surrounded by rocks. There are also wood piles, which can be used as insect hotels. And in addition, you will also find beehives installed all around the golf course. When walking over the course, you will encounter patches of planted apple and hazelnut trees, serving as windbreakers. And what you will also find is the first aspirations of Håkan's agroforestry, which contribute, among other things, to improved soil quality and biodiversity.
We identified measures in our analysis of the Verpinghe golf course that can be implemented on other golf courses to make them more biodiverse, which are shown in this table. We considered two relevant decision factors: the effort to implement each measure and their positive impact on biodiversity. First of all, we found that one of the most effective measures, the placement of wood, has a major positive impact on biodiversity, even though it requires low effort and low costs.
Doesn't look like much, does it? But this log pile is a complex home and food source for all sorts and all sizes of beneficial beasties.
We saw how in Verpinghe branches and stacks of woods were placed close to ponds on the golf course. These wooden stacks offer living spaces for all kinds of insects, birds, and fungi. This measure can help to transform traditional golf courses to include more biodiversity and increase the overall appearance and uniqueness of the course for the players. The second measure that we focused on was the inclusion of bodies of water on the golf course, such as ponds or streams. This measure requires a medium financial and time investment. Water bodies provide a great living space for animals such as toads, frogs, insects, birds, and other wildlife. Another aspect is connected to irrigation, as water caught in water basins infiltrates the soil and serves as a water source for nearby vegetation. In Verpinghe, the whole golf course is irrigated with the water from basins together with rainwater and sheep urine. Using this technique, sprinklers and a network of pipes are not needed. This means direct financial savings. Water basins can also reduce the risk for flooding as they function as a natural drainage system. Although water basins require some investment and infrastructural change, most of the traditional golf courses already have water basins as an in-game obstacle for golfers. It is easy to create small changes at existing bodies of water, which will create great places to foster biodiversity. The last measure we chose to take a closer look at was the holding of sheep on the golf course. This measure requires an initial financial investment for the owners and planning of suitable places where sheep can graze. We consider sheep husbandry as one of the more complicated implementations on a golf course compared to placement of wood on the golf course, for example. Still, we wanted to present this measure because of its substantial contribution to biodiversity and the maintenance of golf courses. It has several positive effects. First of all, sheep function as a mower, which automatically reduces the use of machinery and manpower. This leads to a more cost-efficient and sustainable maintenance of the course. Secondly, sheep help to control problematic weeds and invasive species. In that way, we can reduce the application of herbicides. Consequently, sheep husbandry saves money and time.
Then there's sheep poo. If ever there was a contender for the best poo in the world, it may be this one.
Another aspect is the sheep's urine, which works as an additional source of irrigation, and excrements, which can work as manure and also to attract insects. These insects then attract birds and other animals. So sheep positively affect biodiversity by virtue of being at the golf course. Golfers should be informed about the sheep so that they can coexist on the course in a mutually beneficial way. Also to note that sheep can provide great entertainment on the golf course. Who would not take a break from their game and watch some cute sheep at work? They can, in the best scenario, attract more people to get involved in golf as they create a friendlier environment. So we came to the conclusion that golf courses can be more biodiverse and that they can become part of the solution rather than the problem. These solutions are selected measures that could induce a shift to an interconnected space of sports and ecological landscapes. Even if these measures are not exhaustive, we think they would be a great beginning towards the changes we want to see in a more environmentally focused world. We hope our presentation was inspiring and motivated you to consider and implement some of the presented measures for your own golf course. Thank you for having us at this year's Swedish Golf Federation Annual Conference.